tennis. I'm with this shit like I'm Dennis. I started this shit, I'm a business. Niggas be hating, trying to blemish my image. Who want the smoke? 2 to 3 count with the scope. Extended clip long as a rope. We wipe his nose.
So this is my first serious video that I'm uploading by myself, because on this channel I was originally going to do it with my cousin, but she's not a talker, she's not a sociable person for real. So I've decided to take the reins of this channel. So the topic of this video is going to be about the Prince family, Damien and Bianca Prince. They are a YouTube couple that you will basically find on the cookie cutter, family friendly YouTube side of YouTube. Like, I don't know, I don't watch it for real. Like, don't, like, nobody but children really watch it for real. So I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw a video on my feed, and in the video it had Damien and Bianca. They had just had their baby, Nova, a girl, and on the video it kind of hit a nerve center, because Bianca was talking about, oh, I wish you had pretty eyes. Oh, see, my eyes were blue when I was a baby and now they're green. The doctor told me if they're brown, they're going to stay brown. I wish you had pretty eyes. And then they went on to like look at the baby knuckles and her ears and her nail beds. And it was like, oh, she gonna get dark. She not gonna be they other children color. They gonna be Damien color. They was basically just like really like nitpicking and I don't know if I'm saying the right word, scrutinizing this baby that just came out the pussy like not even an hour ago. So it's going all over Facebook. They got a lot of backlash. People think they're colorists, think they're disgusting. Made a video addressing what they really meant in the video. And in this video, Bianca was talking about, oh, I didn't mean that her eyes were ugly. I just wanted her eyes to look like mine. Then she went on to say, because none of the women or none of my siblings got complimented on their brown eyes, and I just wanted my baby to have my eyes. And it was like, as a person, I can understand wanting to have your child look like you, but Bianca, well, I was made aware of that Bianca had a miscarriage. And at this point, if you had a miscarriage, well, I never had a miscarriage or nothing like that, but like, as a woman, you know, if you had a miscarriage, you don't care if your baby come out with 9 toes, 18 toes, 12 fingers or nothing. You just happy that your baby came out. So for her, to me, for her to sit there and just be pissy over the color of a child's eyes, and because their child is not going to be complimented on their eyes throughout their lives, that's like a really self-centered bitchy thing to do. Because it's women in this world that can't have babies. It's women in this world that would, you know, be blessed to have that brown-eyed, beautiful child that you just gave birth to, and is talking about her eye color. Which brings me onto the topic of colorism and why this was viewed as a colorist thing. It would have been different if they would have just stopped at the eyes. Yeah, I understand, okay, you wanted your baby eyes to look like you, wanted to have your baby to have a feature of yours, which I totally understand, because I look just like my father. This face right here, all this is my father's face. And I have like nothing that like gives the characteristic of my mother. Like when you see my face, you see my father. You do not see my mother. But I get my personality and my traits from my mother. I get my body from my mother. I get the way I think from my mother. I get all of that from my mother. But the face, my father. If me and my father and my mother was in public, you would think she wasn't my mother. that my father was on a date with another woman, and this woman was not my mother. But I'm going off on a tangent. So the thing with the colorism is that people to this day will sit here and downplay it as if it's not a real thing and it's not a real problem, when it is very prevalent in society to this day. Colorism has been going on since slave times, when there was house slaves and field slaves, where lighter skin was associated with being more white and less nigga. Like, if you had lighter skin, the lighter the skin, the more privileges you had. You got to sleep in the house with massa. You got to do housework. You didn't have to be outside in the heat, sweating, your perm out, and none of that. The darker your skin is, the less you are valued. The lighter your skin is, the more you are valued. And people try to downplay is that it's not a thing because we're all black. No matter your light skin, biracial, black and white mixed, we're all black. It doesn't matter what shade of black you are still black. Which is total bullshit in my eyes, because a dark-skinned man will sit in a dark-skinned woman's face all day, every day, and say, I will not date a dark-skinned woman because you guys are too gutter, you're too ghetto, I don't want my baby coming out that color, you don't have pretty eyes, your features are not what I want in my lineage, basically. They don't value you because of your skin tone. And it really also boils down to privilege. Yes, I said the P word, privilege. White people and lighter skinned people obviously have privilege. There's white privilege and then there's light skin privilege. And light skin privilege, you're not going to get a lot of privileges that white people get, but you will get some simply because you're not this color. You're not this color, because my body and my face are two different colors. You're not this color. You're not going to be able to, of course, you're not going to be the first choice for a job if you're running up against a white person. But let's say if you, a white person, and a darker skinned person, you're a shoo-in for that second position. So you get privileges, you get all sorts of things, and it kind of bugs me that these people don't see that they get these special privileges in life just because they're light skinned. And one privilege is that when they get that they don't think that is a privilege, and they just think, oh, I'm just this, is that they pretty by, like, because they're light skinned. Like, I've never seen, like, I'm not finna lie like this. Let me rephrase this. When people are talking about light-skinned people being prettier than darker people, it's not because they're actually pretty. They attractive, but they're not gorgeous. Like, they're not just some rare gem that's been, like, discovered under the pressure of the earth and is just turned into this nice, beautiful ruby that we've never seen before. They're average. And as told by Kenya, I watched her video on this, and this what kind of inspired me to make this video. She kind of hit on this topic really well too. You are, in today's society, light skin equals pretty, or light skin equals gorgeous. And light skin and pretty are not synonymous. They do not always go together, because I've seen some ugly ugly light skinned people, and it wasn't because of their skin that they was ugly. It was because of their facial features that they was ugly. You were just an ugly person. And I've seen some ugly dark-skinned people and some ugly white people. You're not ugly because you're white or dark-skinned or whatever tone your skin is. You're ugly because you're ugly. And it's just today's society, skin color is synonymous with beauty. Like, you kind of feel where I'm coming from? If you don't, I'm sorry, because if I try to explain it deeper, I'm going to go off into something else. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to stay one-track minded. And I also have points on this piece of paper that you probably can't. I don't go off on another tangent. And as told by Kenya, like, she talked about something that like clicked in my mind so well. Like, the way she explained this was so beautifully, like it was explained so beautifully, and like it really made sense to me. Like, as soon as she said this, like these two words, it clicked in my head. Social currency. So if you don't know what social currency is, it's self-explainable. It's like your social status. It's like money, but in social form. And what she was talking about, she was like, Damien, the Prince male house leader, is only with Bianca for social currency. And like other dark-skinned men do, they get these light-skinned women that not all that cute, period. Like, they're generic, and they have these light-skinned babies with them just for social currency, so they can be seen as someone who is able to pull someone that is above them. Basically, it's basically the weirdest form of self-hatred that a person can do. Like, oh yeah, I don't like my skin color, or I hate this about myself, but at least I can pull a person of this stature, or I can pull this light-skinned woman, or this white woman, or this Latina woman that's lighter than me, and make her have babies with me. But yeah, I really like how she phrased that. I really like how Kenya phrased that, social currency. Thank you, boo. If you ever watch this, which you probably won't, but just thank you for making stuff click in my head, because that doesn't happen a lot to me. Another point that I'm gonna talk about is who colorism affects. You might be thinking it obviously affects dark-skinned people, and that's probably it. You probably think, oh, it's the darker skinned people that always gets affected by colorism. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true. Period. Pooh. Sorry. Not only dark skinned people get, the backlash or like are affected by this. I was watching this girl's video. Her name is Snitchery. She is a biracial cosplayer. And in her video, she was talking about how it is really hard for her to identify with a racial group because she is biracial. She was talking about how white people don't see her as white. And this is where that we all black, so therefore colorism is not a thing, comes to play. So she was talking about how white people don't see her as white, and that black people don't see her as black either. So that's where it really where the colorism comes from, is like light-skinned people and people of lighter colors in any race. It can be Mexicans, Latinos, it can be Africans, Germans, Asians. This happens everywhere. It's like their own subculture. It's like a different category. Like, oh, you have your blacks, you have your whites, and then you have your biracial. And she was talking about how it's really hard for her and how she tries to stand up for her, like how she tries to defend her racial profile, but she has to do it a certain way to where the point that she's not stepping on other dark-skinned women's feet, but at the same time she's getting her point across, which is really sad because in my eyes, if you are biracial, you are black. I'm sorry. Whichever okay, I was raised to believe, like I was raised off the Bible. I'm not a religious person now, but in the Bible it says you are what your father is. And that basically means you can have a white mother and a black father. If your father is black, you are black. Period. That's it. You're black. It doesn't matter what shades you are. It doesn't matter if your skin fits the paper bag test. That don't matter. If your daddy black, you're black. Because my mom is, I don't want to be mean when I say this, but my mom, she's lighter than me because she is Native American and African American. So she kind of has like a lighter complexion, but my father is black. He's black. I'm sorry, like there's no other way I can skirt around that. I'm 75% black, 25% Native American, but in my eyes, I'm black. I can't tell anybody. I can't go up to anybody, hi, hey, my name's Janaya, I'm black. But like I'm mostly Indian because my mom's side is Indian. No, you're gonna look at me and you're gonna see a what? A black girl. Which is really where I feel for her. I feel for her because she wants to have a place where she feels that she belongs. But with colorism, it end up ostracizing biracial people too. Biracial people that don't really, want to use their skin color as the means of their survival. Biracial people that understand the struggle of their darker counterparts and want to help and want to be like they want to have a place where they feel they belong, and it's kind of hard for them too with colorism. And the second to last point that I'm gonna hit on is how we can stop it. One thing that I do see in the black community with biracial people, with lighter skinned people, darker skinned black people, and all that, when a lighter skinned person tries to voice or help advocate for dark skinned people, those dark skinned people will then turn on that lighter skinned person and they kind of turn into like, well, how could you advocate for this and you've never been through it? Or how could you sit here and pretend like you've been through this? Or how could you support us and you've never known the struggle? That needs to stop. Because if someone is sitting there by you 10 toes down, ready to support you or help you in any type of way, you need to take that support and stop being so caged up with your emotions. And then a second thing that we can do as African American folk to stop colorism, we need to get help, because I feel that colorism is a form of self-hatred. And when I think of self-hatred, I think of it as a disease, like a body dysmorphia. Like, what's on your body? Skin. What color is my skin? Black. And if you hate your black skin, that is a form of body dysmorphia, and it needs to be treated as an illness, like they treat other forms of body dysmorphia. But yeah, I just really feel like they need to be all the way counseled. I'm sorry, there's no redeeming yourself from this. To sit there and like really like sit there and say that type of stuff to a child when and then like the people defending them, they be like, oh, every parent do that when their baby come out. My mama didn't do that to me when I came out. She wasn't talking about how I was gonna get darker. Everybody knew I was gonna get darker. My folks black. Like, she had sex with a dark-skinned man. What she thought? If odds were, like, one of your children was gonna come out brown skin or darker skin, like what you thought, baby girl? Light skin is a recessive trait. Green eyes are recessive traits. It was bound to happen in one baby or another. But let me stop this before I keep going on. Thank you guys for coming to my video and listening to me rant. I don't know if I ever introduced myself, but my name is Janaya. I'm just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. And it goes on and on and on and on. Now, don't stop believing.
You so fucking precious.